What's up everybody, and thank you for joining me for another video. My name is Whack4863, but you can call me Whack. Today we're going to talk about Conan Exiles and 2022. What's in store in 2022 for Conan Exiles? A quick look at 2021 gives us some idea of the path that we may be going in. Since Dennis has taken over as lead designer for Conan Exiles, we've seen things change a little bit. They've focused less on balance fixes, they've focused more on just fixing things that have been broken in the game, which I think is a good strategy where they fix things that are broken first and then look harder and look deeper into balance should that actually be needed. Additionally, Dennis likes to throw new things into the game as these updates come out. So we've seen a lot of new things. The addition of the ability to actually see how much health you and your thrall and the NPCs that you're fighting actually has been a great addition to the game. On top of that, we've seen things like being able to wear your weapons on your back or display those on your back, and the ability to pick building pieces back up that you've already placed as long as they're 100% health. Those types of things have added great quality of life to the game, and I'm hoping to see more quality of life things coming to Conan Exiles in the future. We also saw a couple of DLCs launch in 21, that would be the Isle of Sipta and the Numidian DLC. On top of that, we did have our first kind of glimpse into the new style of limited events, and I think it went rather well. It's a very cool event, it gives you some cool things, and I'm sure from the responses that I've received and that I've seen on the forums that you will be able to get those items as a recipe in the future, and that is something that they plan to do. Now that I've kind of short summarized what we've seen in 2021, let's jump into 2022 and what we can expect to see going forward. Now for this, I actually reached out to Dennis and asked him some questions, and many of you are going to say, well, you threw him softballs. I did that on purpose. The reason why I threw him softballs, the reason why I asked these particular questions was because I wanted straight answers. I didn't want to ask him any questions that he couldn't actually answer and had to say, no, sorry, you're not getting an answer to that. So the first question that I asked him is, are you planning to make any DLCs in 2022? And his response to that was, we are planning on releasing new paid content in 2022. So you can expect to see some kind of content come for Conan Exiles through the 2022 year. I think this is great. I hope that there will be free content that comes along with this. I think the patches that have been most popular in the past have been the DLC releases that come along with a dungeon of some sort or some additional content that is free that brings people back to the game. So hopefully they have that in store. And that kind of leads into my second question, which was, will Conan Exiles continue to be a live service game in 2022? His answer to this was, Exiles will continue to be a live service game through 2022, which means they will continue to update the game, they will continue to do bug fixes, they'll continue to add content to the game going forward. So that's very good, very exciting for the future of Conan Exiles. Now I know many of you want to know what's in Update 3.0, and I'm going to give you a little sneak peek or a little hint to what might be in there towards the end of the video. However, my third question actually looked past Update 3.0. So my third question was, looking beyond Update 3.0, do you know of any big things we can expect? His answer to this was, we're looking at ways to make Exiles feel more like a lived-in world. I think we can expect a lot of updates in that arena. Now, I think this is something that should be very exciting to most players of Conan Exiles. If you've played Conan Exiles for an amount of time, you know that the world can actually get rather stale. You know where the NPCs spawn, the enemies, the bosses, all those different things are very easy to just go to a location and know what to expect or what to look for. Now, in the past, there's been talk about what if Conan Exiles added roving bandits or roving camps to the exiled lands, and how would that look? How would that work? And I think that's something that could be very feasible for Conan Exiles. I also think we should look at the event and the way that the event played into the world. It just kind of cropped up in different places. And this is probably partially a test to see how the server would handle such an event happening on a regular basis. Now, my expectation is if they use the event system like they did with Grave Matters to add some changes to the world, I would expect those not to show up on the map. I would expect that they would be totally hidden until you actually ended up in this area. So let's say you're headed to farm iron and all of a sudden you come across a roving group of bandits and a boss that you have to defeat in order to farm that area. This is just one of the things that they could do to bring the world to life, and it's actually the last thing from a video that I posted in 2020 that I thought Conan Exiles and Funcom needed to do in order to keep Conan Exiles viable. Everything else in that list from that video has actually come to the game, so I'm very excited to see if this number 5 comes to the game as well. Moving on to the fourth question that I asked him, if you had one goal for players' experience in 2022, what would it be? He says, my goal for 2022 plays back into question number 3. I want to give players tools and experiences that make them feel like they're sucked into Robert E. Howard's Conan universe when they play Exiles. I hope we can leverage our lead content designer, Matt, to help bring more stories and lore to everyone to experience. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys are most excited to hear about sorcery and 3.0 and whether that's coming to the game, and I'm going to finish up with that here in just a moment. But I do want to take a moment to look at this answer a little bit deeper. He said he wants you to be sucked into the Robert E. Howard Conan universe. And essentially, you're playing on the side of Conan, right? So you are on the side of Conan, obviously in Conan Exiles. Now, Conan never embarked in sorcery himself. It was always him against some other sorcery or some form of dark magic, if you paid attention to the stories and the lore. And I think that most of you probably already know where I'm going with this train of thought. Essentially, we already have some semblance of sorcery in the game, from being able to summon avatars to the fact that the undead actually walk the exiled lands. The only thing that I think most people would say we're missing is the ability to wield sorcery ourselves. So the big question is, are they planning on bringing that ability to Conan Exiles? So the last thing that I did with Dennis here is number 5. I said, make your own question and answer it. Essentially giving him an open forum to share one piece of information that he felt like the player community would want to hear. And this is what he wrote. This isn't so much a question, but I've been following speculation about what will be in 3.0 on the forum. There's been a lot of speculation going on since mid-November, and the discussion is still active today. There are a lot of guesses, and nobody has guessed correctly yet. I think this is a fabulous way for him to actually answer his own question or give us a hint or a sneak peek into what is or what isn't coming in 3.0. What isn't coming in 3.0 is all listed on the forums in the speculation sections of the forums. So if you're interested to see what is not coming, I'll put a link to the ones that I know of in the comment section below. However, it does also confirm the fact that sorcery, as we are expecting it, is not coming in Update 3.0. So you can wipe that off your list of wants for 3.0 because it's absolutely not going to be there. But speculation is a lot of fun, and what I'd like to do at this point in time is ask you, what do you think is coming in Update 3.0? what crazy wild things can you come up with that might be great in the exiled lands and added to Conan Exiles. The whack moments in this video were sponsored by my legendary supporters. If you'd like to become a member, you can click the button below that says join. That'll give you all the details. And if you want to continue the fun, there's 2 videos on the screen. You can pick one of those to watch next. Please don't forget to whack the like button, and if you're new to the channel, I'd encourage you to click that subscribe button, click that bell so you get notified when I upload another video.